All right, we're going to try it again. First time I tried it to record this, it just went dead on me, and it turns out I had to charge my camera battery, and so I think it's charged enough now. It's been a couple hours. Anyway, hi, Northern Stitcher here. I know it's been 2 months, but I've been really busy. No, I'm just kidding. I've been retired. I actually retired a couple days after my last video, and that's been a couple months now. And I have just been getting used to retirement and doing all kinds of stuff and doing so much stitching, and I just kept stitching, and then I thought, well, just one more day and I'll have this part done, and then I'll be able to show them this much. And oh gosh, it's been just so much of that going on. So I am here finally after 2 months, and I have a lot of stitching to show you. I spend my days, oh, let me tell you about my days now. I wake up in the morning and I have this one glorious moment of laying there, and the reality hits me. You don't have to go to work today. Big smile comes on my face, and I leap out of bed. Well, not really. I'm almost 70. Leaping is like way beyond me now. But anyway, get out of bed, get up, make a cup of tea, stitch for a couple hours. Then I turn on Price is Right. And this is my routine every day now, Monday through Friday at least. Watch Price is Right. Then I'll make some brunch, kind of a breakfast lunch combo, and then I stitch again for a while, and then I might get up and do the dish, whatever. I mean, yeah, okay, maybe I got dressed in the middle of all that, but it's been so much fun to just, I can do whatever I want to do most every day. Some days there are things I have to do, but that's what I've been doing, and I love it. I hope that I get to stay retired now for the rest of my life, and just not having to be somewhere and not having all these things that have to be done. And you know how at work you always put off those miscellaneous yucky things, and you finally have to, I don't have to think about those anymore. Those are not even in my radar anymore, and I'm loving it. So I recommend retirement for everyone. Even if you love your job, retirement is still great. Okay, so summertime has hit Anchorage, and it's been really nice. We've had a few, cloudy days, so I've been kind of also waiting for more sunny days so that it wasn't like totally gray out there. I did start, like I said, recording this few hours early. It's now like almost 6 o'clock at night, but of course we have sunshine pretty much all night now, so I could probably record at 11:30 and it would still be daylight. But anyway, let me get into meat of things. First thing I want to mention is Beverly. Yep, she will be missed. I really enjoyed all of Beverly's comments on everyone's videos, and especially my own. Have a little conversation with her, and she was always just such a sweetheart, and she just kind of felt like a friend, and I will definitely miss her, because I was also one who always used to scan down comments and on people's videos, and there would be Beverly with a nice sweet comment. So Beverly, we're gonna miss you, lady. Gonna miss you a lot. Okay, now let's see. Oh yeah, in my little daily routine, this is kind of how it is now. You know how at work you work, take a break, and some of you are lucky enough to have a long enough break that you can sit and do some stitching on your breaks. When I worked like 9 to 5 straight through. Took breaks rarely, didn't take a lunch hour, just ate something at my desk, that kind of thing. So, but anyway, so now my day, I have flipped it what I do now is I stitch as much as I can, and I'll take a little work break, you know, like cleaning break, like do the dishes or start dinner or clean out a drawer or something like that. So I'm liking that. That's much better. I didn't do Mania. I'm not a good person for doing things like really structured. I tried to do the, what was it, Crazy 7 in July last year. I had all 7 kits, or not kits, but all 7 items kitted up and ready to go. I think I got through 3, maybe 4 of them, and days just got away from me. You know, now that I'm not working, it might be better, but I just decided no, too much else going on in May. At the beginning of May, I was still working, like I said, till about the 14th. I think that was my last full day of work. So I've been retired almost 2 months, I think it is now. But anyway, all 5 of the winners of my 500 sub giveaway got their packages. I think they were all happy, and that makes me happy. I think now, though, I'm going to start getting things pulled together. I mean, my next giveaway may be months and months away. Well, actually, I'll probably do one on my Flosstube anniversary, which is September, I think it's September 17th. Anyway, I'll have to look back and see. So, but I'm going to start getting stuff ready and gathered today, you know, way before then, so that when the time for the giveaway is, I'm ready to mail them out the very next day. Because last time I pulled the winners, I had most of the stuff, but I didn't have some of the stuff, and it took me like a week before I started mailing stuff out. Don't want to do that again this next time. All right, let's see. One of the things that I've started doing is now I have like some stitchy friends that we've been stitching together for the past 25, 30 years. We all met at the university when we all worked there. And there are 3 stitchers. There's 4 of us. Well, there was 5, but one of them moved to North Carolina, so we don't have her with us anymore. I'm going to insert a picture of them here at my house, just so you can get a look at them. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I'm going to try to insert it here. Probably won't. It'll probably be at the end like everything else, because I'm not really sure how to split the video to insert a picture. So anyway, so you'll get to meet Barbara, Lori, and Susan. And like I said, there are 3 of us that cross stitch. There are 3 of us that quilt. And we do, you know, multiple things. We've gone on a quilting cruise together a few years ago, and now that we're all retired, I was the last holdout. We're doing definitely a weekly midweek stitching get together, and of course all their husbands, they call it an eating get together with a little bit of stitching on the side, and they're probably right. But so I've got some pictures of that. We either come to my house and, you know, have kind of a little potluck lunch and stitch, or we'll go out and go to a restaurant, and then go to a stitching store, go to the movies, do something. But anyway, it's our little little weekly thing, and we're starting to have a lot of fun with that. Years ago, we used to meet every Friday night at my house after work and stitch till midnight. But that stopped a few years ago. I don't know if it was we all just started getting older and too tired to do anything but go home on Friday night. Anyway, so that is that I've had an out-of-town guest. My friend who visits me every once in a while was in and out so quick I barely knew she was here. She came on a Tuesday night, left on a Thursday morning. So basically all we had time to do was get a little catch up in and go to our favorite restaurant, and then she was gone. So her and her husband are traveling across the United States. They have it's not an RV. What they have is a big fifth wheel with the thing that holds their mini car in the back, and they pull it with a big semi truck. I mean, it's a big rig, and they're going across the United States to a certain point, and then they're going up into Canada and going all the way to the east coast of Canada, and then coming back partway through Canada and partway back. And so they're on that trip right now, and they normally live in Sitka, but they're gonna just be traveling. I have I have something that I want to show you really quick. Since I retired, I made a purchase, and this right here is normally what I put my orts in. You know, it's just like normal size. It's just a little thing. It just says snippets on here, a little wooden thing, and do that. Well, since I've retired and I'm stitching a lot more, I decided I needed a new, bigger ort jar. And when I was at, I think it was Fred Meyer's, just a grocery store. I think it's not in very many states. It's a big grocery, clothing, bedding, everything store, all in one kind of store. And when I saw this, I thought, perfect. It's a giant mason jar. I don't know if you can really tell the size of it, but I figured I'm gonna just fill this up this year for sure. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'll keep you posted. Like right now, it's down here, and and that's for like half of the year that I've been stitching so far. Since I'm retired now, we're gonna bust out the top of this thing. I am sure of it. Okay, new ort jar. I'm looking at my notes because I actually did try for the past month or so to write down a bunch of notes so I wouldn't get too far out of whack. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, I have discovered, well actually it's been about 3 or 4 months ago that I actually discovered it, but I don't think I've talked about it. Like I said, I watched the one daytime show, Price is Right, and then for the rest of the time, I spend my time watching Flosstube, or I have discovered Acorn TV and BritBox, and I love them. They are so much fun. I have all the cable channels, so I really don't need to do Netflix or anything like that, but this is something that is so great because I am discovering, like Acorn TV is a lot of obviously British TV, but it also has a lot of Australian, New Zealand, Irish, Scottish, all these other countries, and it has a lot of their movies and TV series and documentaries, and I am so enjoying it because I'm getting to know a lot of the different actors throughout the world, and I'm watching some series on those two. They're streaming, through my computer. I'm watching a lot of things that or maybe 10, 15-year-old, series, and loving them. And I can watch it constantly. And so that's what I'm spending a lot of, when I'm stitching, I'm watching that. It's like Flosstube is getting to be where I never have less than 250 to watch, and I have it on a lot. There's so many new Flosstubers, which I love. It is so great to get to know new people all the time. And so that's what I've been doing with my time while I'm stitching, which I'm going to show you. And I've got 5 or 6 or so whips that I've worked on, but I've been spending like 10 days, 2 weeks maybe on a whip and getting so much done. And that really makes me happy. The other day, and I'm trying to get organized as far as like haul all my cross stitch stuff out of my craft room, out of my bedroom, and I'm trying to get everything organized. And so the other day I started doing it, and I started counting my whips. When I got to 20, I decided, okay, let's stop for now, because I know I've got even more in the other rooms and I just need to dig them out. And so someday I'll do a whip parade. It won't be a super long video. With so many new floss tubers, I'm thinking I'm going to try to keep my videos down around half hour if I can, so that you can get on and see somebody else too, too. One of the things I've done is, like, now I can go out during the day and just kind of do whatever. Like, I can go grocery shopping, like I said, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday and nobody's there, and I love it. But I did decide to go check out, with all this thrifting you guys have been doing recently, I thought, well, let me just go check out ours. I didn't have much hope, didn't think it would give much, and it didn't. It was a big bust. There was nothing there but stuff that, you really want to work on. So I figure it's time to get into showing you some stuff, and I'm going to do that. I also have been jotting down, the 20 things you don't know about me, and I've gotten to about 15, and we'll see how long this video is, see if it shuts me off again too, for one thing. But we'll get through what I've been working on, and then we'll see. All right, first thing is, I finished up the round robin piece that I was working on for this month, and it is Amber's piece, and it is she didn't send a picture with it, so there's really nothing I can show you, but it's the what is it, the cricket collection. I think when you look them up, they're under cross-eyed cricket or something, and her piece that she sent around for all of us to work on was the one that it was spring. My portion, well, I'll show you the full little what it looks like. See here, that's what it looks like, with all the layers. There's just the S left to do, and that will be the last person I send it to. What I did, my part this time, was the P right here, and let's just see how close. And it was, let's see, you're seeing some of the R too. I just want you to see the B. So let me fold it one more time. Okay, there we go. I did the P there. You can see it. I'm not really sure how my camera is acting. It's kind of weird. No, I mean, it's not weird. I'm weird as far as knowing it. But anyway, there's P. It's got the little picket fence and the pansies and a little bird on the fence there, and it was a lot of fun. It was different. I do my stitches the opposite way of Amber did, so it was quite tricky at first, because I was like, your muscle memory is so in tuned after 40 years of stitching to stitch the way you stitch, and I would find myself stitching, and then I had to totally take out so many times, because it was like, okay, wait, that's not right. So, but it was really a good lesson. It was really a good exercise for me, I should say, because I actually had to fully concentrate on almost every single stitch of this little piece, so that I made sure that my stitches went the same way as Amber's stitches. But I did it, and it turned out so cute, and I love it, and we'll be sending that off to her tomorrow. because today is 4th of July and it is obviously post office closed. Oh, and by the way, it is 4th of July, so happy 4th, everyone. And today would have been my father's 103rd birthday. He was born on 4th of July, 1914. And so it's always it's a special day for me for 2 reasons. And we used to always have fun. If you did a 4th of July barbecue party, whatever we did, it was always a birthday party at the same time. And so that was always fun. Okay, next thing I worked on, I have set up over here, and I'm going to try to maneuver the camera so that you can see. I'm trying to figure out how to set up a little system so that when I show you guys these, it's not such a crazy thing. So I'm going to be moving the camera over, and eventually I will learn how to do this in a more smooth way. But first of all, I'll show you the first whip I worked on, and it's also a year of whips piece, is the hat collage. It's a Janlin kit, and it is, I'm seeing some glare. I'm hoping you're not seeing it, but I'll just have to test it out. But anyway, it is, that is what the finished piece is going to look like. Last time I just had basically the top 2 hats done. I'm going to slowly move you over. And let me see if I can get, I don't know. I don't know if this is my major idea is gonna. Sorry, I had to plug back in. This camera has the worst plug-in. It does not snap in, and so there. That's, you can see what I've done on it. This time I got not only those hats finished at the top, but a lot more done of it. Okay, actually I'm going to pause the video right now and take a look and see what this looks like, because it's just not making me happy right now. So I will be back. Okay, I took a little break because the sun was just, let me put my microphone on, excuse me. Okay, I took a break because the sun was glaring in from over here, and I think you couldn't really see this half of my face because it was just washed out. Anyway, but now it's about 7:30 at night, and the sun has gone over past the house, the rooftop of the house next door, and I have a full face again. So here I am. I think I'm gonna start at my whip portion again, because I don't know how the last one came out, and it's just kind of weird. This whole thing is kind of weird. So, okay. First of all, I showed you I was working on this. And this is called the Hat Collage by Janlin Kit. And this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. Last time, I just had these 2 hats done and just a tiny portion down here below. Now, since I have been working, and like I said, I'm working a lot on each whip that I have gotten this far. And I'm going to fold it in half so you got a little backing on there. So this is it. I'm going to peek And this is where I want to be. So this is where I've done quite a bit. I've gotten going down into the bottom row, and I got that really fun little polka dot hat because polka dots are one of my favorite. I have done almost all the cross stitching on the top. I mean cross stitching. I've done all the cross stitching on the top, almost all the back stitching, and so just a little bit there is going to be needed. I got quite a bit of back stitching I think left to do here, and I have that one hat on the bottom and then the 3 ones on that, and I love that. Like I said, it's been so hard for me to stop each one because I really like to work on things for a long time. Like I can work 2 or 3 weeks on something, but then I figure, oh, if I do that, I'm going to have one thing to show on my videos. So you guys have stopped me from being monogamous. Anyway, second thing I worked on is not a year of whips, but it is a stitch along that I'm doing with a few ladies. Like Marlene at Stitchin' by the Lake and some other ladies that are not on Flosstube. And it is Cornwall sampler, or Cornwall cottage sampler. And it's by Rosewood, and it is it's so cool. I am not doing the called for colors. I am doing my own thing. My own thing is this. I just had a little bit in the corner done before, but I've done across almost the whole top. I'm ready. I'm going down the one side, and then I did a little more down the side there, and I'm trying to make it, can you tell? I'm trying to make it even so you can see it. But anyway, so the parts that I've done are more in this area here. Let's see, let me get all of that I got done. I'm going to actually fold it to the part where I did so you can see it better, because it's so much fun, and it's like I'm choosing each of the colors as I go. I mean, it's basically purple, blue, and yellow, and different shades, and they're all NPI silks. Anyway, oh man, folding this thing. I'm really gonna figure it out next time so that I can just like go da-da, da-da, here it is, and not all this fumbling around. Anyway, fold it, secure. This is the part that I got done, and like I said, I'm going down the side now, but I got all this front part done. Going down the side, started to go down the side over here. So you can see that, so I'm getting some of that done. And I did just a little tiny bit on the side here, more than I had done before. So it's going good. I'm really getting anxious to start getting into the middle and get the basket done. I haven't actually picked out the color for the basket itself, but it's gonna, I don't know if I'll go off the colors I have, or and make the basket that deep purple that I'm working with, or what, but I'll decide when I get to it, and it will be beautiful, and it's so much fun, and I'm gonna keep working on that. Next one is also not a year of whips piece, because after I started the year of whips, there were so many other things that just came to me, and it was like, oh, you have to do that, you have to do that. So the next one is one that when I ordered it, I immediately started it, like within 15 minutes of it getting into my house from the mailbox. And I think before you see my next video, I'll probably finish it because I want to see it finished so much. And that is the DMC kit called Summer Fruit. I love, 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 love my summer fruit. Last time I showed it to you, I had this cup done, these cherries done, and about to here, and maybe just a touch in the basket. And that's all I had done. And when I picked it up again and I started working on it, I could not stop. I couldn't stop. I had to force myself to stop. And so what I have, I wish I could pull this chair over, because I bought this nice little board that is supposed to be showing you guys in a very professional way. Let's see, can I see it? Can you see it? I don't think it's showing up very good. So let me pick it up. Let me just do the old pick it up and show it. This is it. Can you see way back? Can you see way back? I wish I could see through it. I wish I had a magic thing and I could see it, but I have done the full bowl of strawberries right there. I have done some flowers. There's a couple more flowers I have to do, but they're small. I have done the cup. I have done a bit of the picture and the word strawberry, however much there is of it. And then going up to the top, started one of the little egg cups, I guess they are, and part of the blanket, the tablecloth, and part of the flower is done now, the daisy that is there. But this is how far I've gotten, and it's just been 100% a joy to stitch. I cannot, as we say of so many things, I cannot wait to get this baby totally stitched, totally finished, framed, and up on my wall, because I just look at it and it's summertime. It reminds me of summertime, summertime, sweet summertime. So I got that much done on there. The next one is A Year of Whips, and I basically picked this up the other night because I was going to do a video and then I forget what happened. It's been so crazy around here. One of the things that happened is my grandson, he's a heavy equipment operator. The one place he was working started gearing down, and the guy's gonna possibly retire, and so my grandson started thinking, well, you know, I mean, he has a family to support now, and so he started looking for something that was going to give him more work. I mean, it is mostly a seasonal profession because up here it gets too cold to dig in the ground, but anyway, so as it turned out, he now is working, and it's still seasonal, but it's one of the, you know how guys love their adventures and they love going out and doing things, and up here the main big thing is working up on the North Slope in the oil field, and they go up and they're up there for 2 weeks on, a week off, or 3 weeks on, a week off, or, you know, their schedule can vary all different ways, and yet the guys love it. I mean, ultimate job up here for most guys, not 100%, but most guys, is to have a slope job. Well, next to that, and maybe even a little bit more exciting, is working at a gold mine, a working gold mine. And he got a job as an operator on a gold mine up west of Fairbanks, which is middle of the state, and then just go west and about 160 miles. And so anyway, he got this job, and within 3 or 4 days he was going to be gone, and he will be gone until they're hoping weather holds and they'll be able to work until the middle of October. So he was like a 12-year-old. So he was so excited that he got this job on this gold mine, and he's, so he's so happy. So of course, all the hubbub getting ready to go, and my job as grandma was to make, I wanted to send him off with a bunch of cookies, and so I spent the Sunday before he left on a Monday morning, making 15 dozen cookies. Oh my gosh, but it was worth it. And I will insert pictures of the cookies I sent up with him at the end, because like I said, I don't think I'll be able to figure out how to get them in right now, but if I do, I will. But anyway, and so video went out the door, and so I was gathering stuff, and I thought, well, what do I want to work on now? Because everything else is ready to show on the video, and I don't want to get it all out again and disrupt that. So I pulled out another of my ear whips, which is the blue one, the blue quilt hanging. And last time I talked to you, I had these two were done. Well, now I'm into this one, and I have the edges done all the way down, but I think I'm probably close to halfway done with that third little quilt block there. So that is, and I have to take it off of the little board, because the little board is not working, but I'm going to figure out how to make it work. Anyway, this is where I am. Now, here's the 2 parts that I had completed last time I showed this to you, and now I have that much more done on this. And this is, I picked this one out because it's one of those ones where you don't even have to think. You get the pattern set in your mind in about a minute and a half out, and you just go. And so I've got just about half more of that block to do, except for there's a lot of white. All the background on this one is white, and so there's a lot of white stitching, but that's really good for watching a TV show and stitching the same thing over and over again. And that's what backgrounds are. So I got that done. Then my next one I started working on is another year of whips, and I started this one actually last August is when I first started it, and it's the deep sea fish, and that's this. And I know last time I had quite a bit done. This time I've mainly done, I got this guy almost done. I got all this white coral done. I'm working on this coral here and this part here, and I've done a lot of back stitching that I hadn't gotten done before because I kind of left back stitching. But so mainly what I have left to do besides finishing up that top part and just a few little bits of coral in here is, because I got the bluefish done, is the coral down here and the leaves down here, and then a bit of back stitching. So, another week session on this, and I could have this done too. So maybe next video I'm going to have a lot of finishes to show you, which would be great. I mean, yeah, just finishes, not fully finished, because most of these don't think I'm going to frame them anytime quick. So anyway, here is this part here where I've got the seahorse almost done. You still got to be back stitching a little bit in there. I've got a lot of back stitching done on that guy, and most of that coral done right here. Most of this coral is done, and more back stitching here. That little white piece of coral, there's part of the leg, the bottom leg that keeps coming out a little bit more. And then that part's pretty much done. I think I've obviously got a little back stitching to do and a few little things. the blue fish is done, and then of course down below here is where I've got to finish the rest of the coral. And then this guy will be finished. So I've got a lot of actually things that are really close to being, at least all the cross stitching, you know, the stitching part done, and they'll just need to be framed or made into wall hangings or something else. Next, I did pick up a little, I wanted to work on something small. And so looking through my stuff, I came across this little Vervaco kit, and it had these 3 little coffee things. I have this little tiny narrow piece of wall in my kitchen that I'm going to put these on, one on top of the other, and one is espresso, one is coffee, and one is cappuccino. Well, I'm working on, and it's almost finished, I could finish it tonight, and maybe that'll be my plan for tonight, is I started working on the espresso. So that's how far it is, and all I have to do are the 2 little these thingies up on top. But it was so fun. It was like, yes, it's on 18 count Ada, and what did I discover? I think I discovered that I like 16 count, 32 count, or 16 count. That's my favorite stitch. I mean, 18 count, this is, now that I look at it, it's not funny, but it just seemed like it was, the coverage was a little bit bulky or something. I'm not sure, but it looks really good now. I like it. No, so maybe 18. I thought 18 was my favorite, 18 or 36, but I was changing my mind because I started working on this next piece. And this next piece I got because my father had a business. He was the first upholstery business in Anchorage back in the 40s, and he had a business called Home Reconditioning, and he was an artist. He never ever had a pattern for anything. He would just take the furniture, whatever that was given to him, tore it apart, made a new pattern, and did the most beautiful furniture. And he was like the only upholsterer in town for a long time, and many of the upholsterers that came later that opened their own businesses were taught by my father. And anyway, so when I saw these, it's called the oh gosh, I wrote it down because I knew I wouldn't. Sitting Pretty series by Nora Corbett, and there are 4 chairs, and I grew up seeing chairs like this and the other 3 that I'm going to stitch being done by my dad, and they were so beautiful. And my dad is actually, my brother has the piece, and I know, maybe I can get over and take a picture of it. But on one of these type chairs, many years ago, when my father took off, because a lot of times when people recovered chairs, there would be 3 or 4 layers of fabric. And when they would get to him, he'd have to take off all these layers to make the new seat that they wanted. And on one, he was taking off layers, and he came to the bottom layer, and it was cross stitch. And it was cross stitch of a lady doing some cross stitch or needlepoint, and a little child standing next to her watching her doing it. It's on black, and it's beautiful. And my brother, who now has the business, he worked the business with, when he grew up, he decided to go into that business with my dad, and he has that piece at his house. And so I'll have to try to get a picture of it. I should have gotten a picture of it before it came off the wall at my parents' house, but I didn't. But anyway, so I'm doing this series because they remind me of my dad, to honor my dad, and because they're just beautiful pieces. And so far, I started this yesterday, and so far, this is where I've gotten. And this is on 32 count white chocolate linen, and it's just so pretty. This linen is it's not very even weave, let's put it that way. So I am having to really, really be careful, you know, and make sure that I'm going over 2, but to make sure I don't go over 3, because it's really hard. There are beads on this piece, and there's only about 10 colors, but I'll have this one done before we speak again too, because this is just one day's work, and you know, here's the picture. There's not that much to it, and then there's the frame around it, and then the beading, so it shouldn't take too long to finish. So that is that. Another thing that I decided I want to do, and it's from watching both Sherry Burkett and Taryn. They are doing a Texas panorama piece. They're stitching it together. And I had in my stash, so I pulled it out. And I just thought, I know they're stitching it together and it's Texas, but I have this piece that I want to do. And I figured, well, I'll start it and stitch along with them, even though it's not Texas, it's Alaska. But it's not quite like theirs, but it's kind of like theirs. Of course, obviously it's saying Alaska. And then I figured my goal is to get it finished and take it to Austin, because Sherry will be at the Austin retreat. I know Taryn lives in Texas, but I don't know if we're going to get to see her or not. Maybe she'll be able to drive up and see us. But then once I get my piece finished, and if their pieces are finished, I would love for us to take a picture of both the Texas and Alaska stitchers together with their pieces. How does that sound, Sherry? How does that sound, Taryn? I'm pretty sure I can get mine done by October. I know you guys are shooting for getting yours done by the end of July, and I don't think that's going to happen, but I figure as long as it's done by October, that will be fun. So I'll keep you up to date on this one. Anyway, I think that's all. That's all my stitching that I have to show today. I am going to the Austin retreat. I have a daughter that lives in Austin, and so I'll be there like a week or so before. So I'll be going to the Austin retreat, and then after I leave there, I go to Las Vegas, and there's tentatively, possibly, a retreat there at one of the hotels. Kind of like a Mirabilia retreat, but it's not like one of the official ones that Nora Corbett goes to and stuff. And that's going to be during the time that I'm in Las Vegas, because I have another daughter who lives there. And so I'm going to try to get to that one if it actually does happen. And then after that, I'll stay with my daughter in Las Vegas till probably, into the, late 24th or something of that. And then I'm heading off, before I go home, I'm heading off to the Minnesota retreat, and I'll be there for 4 or 5 days. I'm going to get there probably a day early. And then I will be heading home probably October 30th, 31st, something like that. But I will have a full month of cross stitch retreats. I've already got all my deposits in and all that kind of stuff, and my hotel's reserved. The only thing I don't have are my airplane tickets, which I'm going to get on the computer either tonight when I finish my video or tomorrow and get that all set up, and it's really getting close. And so I am looking forward to meeting all of you people there. I think that's going to be lots of fun. And Gerald, I know you hinted really hard about the gold nuggets. I just want to let you know I'm thinking about it. So you may end up having a surprise when I get there. Anyway, I think that's all. I did mention to McKenna on her live feed that I had been to an antique shop. Now it's been a month ago or more, and there were some little ivory, and I said they were ivory, but they're not. They're moose antler carvings, miniature carvings of little Pepes. And so I'm going to insert those pictures here at the end. And then I also like the idea of everybody has been showing pieces and parts of where they live. And so I thought I would show you about, 10, 12 pictures, I think is all it is, of the drive between, say, my house and Girdwood, which is where one of our favorite restaurants is, and it's a few miles out of Anchorage, but it's a beautiful drive. It's a very scenic drive, and it will show you a little bit of where I live. And it, just so that you know too, when you see the inlet there, parts of the inlet, we do have whales that come up there, and it's always like a big event when they'll announce on the radio and on the news that the whales are in, and that road gets so packed for people going out whale watching that you can't hardly drive down there. But anyway, I think that's it. I seem to always think that I'm missing something before I say goodbye, but I don't think I am. But I am really gonna try to do this a little bit more often now that my house is quiet, with my grandson up on the gold mine and with me being retired. So I guess that's it. And I'll see you later, guys. Bye.